guys can probably see the picture. Not sure how well you can see here. I forgot to set my fan. And I got my drink. So this, what if, actually let me get my tablet. Here it is. Naruto's Hidden Truth. Good title, I guess. But I'm starting the what if now. So, last time I left off, at the very end, Team 7 has been matched up. And they were told to go to their training grounds the next day, and Kakashi warned them not to eat, and so they would. Naruto would get back, just like in canon, he'd get there around the same time as they would wait, and Kakashi would get delayed. As he would explain the bell test, explaining that one of them would be sent back to the academy. And so they would get ready, and all of them would, Sasuke and Sakura jump back, but Naruto won it. Naruto later did the same thing, facing against Kakashi and all that. And as he would, it would go similar to canon. It's just, he's doing much better. His strength and speed is much stronger, but Kakashi's skill and his strength and everything else would outmatch him. But I would say he would do about as well as in taijutsu skills of, like, not like, he doesn't have any skills, but his raw speed and power would match him up to Sasuke. But what comes in after that is a massive amount of chakra, where Sasuke would see him use the clone jutsu, or shadow clone jutsu, in a large amount of them, which surprised both of them, both Sakura and Sasuke. As he would, there would be about, I'd say, 30 clones, or around 50, charging towards Kakashi. Kakashi, of course, be substitute with one, as he seems to be grabbed, and they would all pounce on each other, since they think he used a transformation jutsu to trick them. And so Naruto's clones would all punch each other until they're all gone. And as he would be walking to where there's a bell, and he would be trapped. And he would move on to the rest of them. It would go the same as canon, all the way up to Naruto trying to eat the food behind his back. And he would try to, and since he cheated, he would be tied up. As they're tied up, they get a second chance, and they're not allowed to feed Naruto, but they do. And so Kakashi would be coming in to try to say they failed, as Naruto's trying really hard to get out of the grasp of being tied behind his back, as he'd be twisting around as they're telling him to stop, as a sharp pain would come, and a sort of wind would blow over their faces as they closed their eyes, as Kakashi would be there, as Naruto's log behind them would break from seemingly a strike, like a slice, as Kakashi would scare them, saying that you all failed, until they would actually pass with, him tricking them. And so Team 7 would become the game squad. They would be put on D-rank missions, just like in canon. And Naruto would get angry because of this, and would ask for more of a higher rank commission. And so Kakashi would get the Kagakage too, since they seem very capable of doing a C-rank mission. And so, yeah. So, whenever the bridge builder comes in, he would start making fun of Sakura instead of Naruto. You guys can probably guess Naruto is not as short as he is in main canon. So, yeah. But they would be told that they're gonna escort him out the next day. And so they would get ready. As they would be heading out of the Leaf Village, they would run into a puddle with two shinobis, the Demon Brothers, jumping out of it, aiming towards the bridge builder after killing, or seemingly killing, Kakashi. As this would happen, Sasuke would jump in front of them, taking them out, and would call Naruto a scaredy cat, which he'll still be struck and do the whole stabbing of his hand. And now it'll be time for the battle against, what was it, Zabuza. Zabuza would enter the same way as the battle between Kakashi and him would start, ending up with Kakashi being trapped inside of a water prison jutsu, which I think his Sharingan would have told him if he's using that jutsu, so he would have kept his distance. Or at least I'm pretty sure if he can copy the jutsu from him. But this is whenever Naruto would face against Zabuza's water clone, kind of, since he can't land a hit on it. Until he would be sloshed across the chest by Zabuza's blade, sending him back into a tree, making him pass out. As Zabuza was about to finish him, it would be Sasuke versus him. And Sasuke would end up being backhand, as the sword would be creeping towards Naruto's head. As Naruto would open up his eyes, having the Nine Tails chakra coursing through his body, as he would kick the blade away from him, getting onto all fours, as bones would pop out of his back. 4 of them. Oh my god. Excuse me, I tried to pause it before I sneezed, but I didn't get to. But as this would happen, Naruto would chuck himself forward, throwing himself, and would use his tentacles as he would strike against Zabuza's blade, and he would scream out, blowing Zabuza off away from him. The real Zabuza. And so, the prison, you know, the water prison jutsu would have been, like, severed and all that. Oh yeah, Sakura is knocked out too. The bridge builder is not. I accidentally read over that part. But as Kakashi thinks that the Nine Tails is let loose, but he would look at Naruto's back, as he would see, similar to his master's ability, except Naruto's is more of a bone feature instead of a tentacle sort of one, like a flesh kind of whip. But he'd be relentlessly pummeling Zabuza with this until he would roar again, shooting him back. As he would rush towards them, swinging his blade, his tentacles from his back. I'll, I'll just call them bone tails, I guess. I don't know, they kind of are. But he would slice him against him, throwing him into the tree more, and would send, cutting him to shreds, kind of, as some bones would come out of the forest, seemingly killing Zabuza, and aiming in towards Naruto. As Naruto would have blocked it, he would have looked towards a Anbu, which would have picked up Zabuza and ran off. As Naruto was about to run after him, but as he would pass out, falling into the water, as Kakashi would go pick him up, along with his other teammates, or his other students, kind of, as he would stay awake as long as he can, getting them all the way to the bridge builder's house. And so, they would sit there, and Naruto would rest, and so with all of them, I'd say at least all of them except Naruto would wake up, and they would be informed of where they are and what happened. Not exactly what happened, but a lie. Saying that I broke out and I took out Zabuza, and Anbu came and I picked up him. But he'd be saying that he wasted a lot of chakra, so he'd be out for a while. So you need to train, since I think the Anbu was not a real one. And he'll train you in chakra control. And so you would. Naruto would wake up later in the day, and they would spend the time there training their chakra control. With Sakura getting in like her first or second try, with Sasuke having trouble along with Naruto. But they of course train over and over until they'll get it. And as Naruto was training, he'd pass out. As some person would wake him up, which we'd learn his name would be Haku. And so Haku would leave with Naruto waking up, or going back to the place, going back to the house and sleeping. As he would sleep for most of the day, and the rest of Team 7 would go with the bridge builder. And so they would be attacked by Zabuza. I just said Zabuza. Zabuza and Haku. And so the fight would go the same, with Sasuke being trapped inside of the ice mirror, and Naruto would be rushing to go help him. See, rushing, as they would be fighting against Haku, or more like dodging, which Naruto would do much better at, since he is stronger. Yay. But it would all end up to the same, with Sasuke jumping in the way, trying to help him. And so he'd be stabbed by a whole bunch of Simbones. As Naruto would get angry, activating the QB's chakra again, as his anger would spike, and so would his chakra, taking down all the mirrors as Naruto would activate his Gekigenkai again, which he would use this time much more angrily. He would spike in anger more than he did in the canon, causing him to rip through Haku, and he would kill him. And he would have passed out the same. No, he would stay awake this time. And he would have went up to Sasuke and picked him up and all that. And Sakura would go on him and cry about his death, as him and Kakashi would use clones to scare off all the people, and so would all the villagers help them. And the bridge would call Naruto, the Bridge of Naruto or whatever, the Great Naruto Bridge. And so yeah, this is where they would head back to the Leaf Village, and would have we told about the Chunin exams, and this is where I'm going to end it off. I might not be able to get all of the what ifs that I did yesterday, since I did do this later, since it was raining for like a couple hours, and it was really loud since my room's like a funnel for every noise around the house and inside the house. So yeah, let me peace out for you guys.